Hi folks, I'll keep this short and sweet. I just wanted to say a few words about the practice quiz and maybe a little bit about the quizzes in general for the course. Again, you know that we've got 6 quizzes that are for marks over the course of the term, roughly one every 2 weeks. I think the first one will actually be on the 18th. This practice quiz is just to make sure you have an opportunity to play with the software, make sure it works for you, make sure you know what's going on. The idea is I'm going to post the practice quiz on VIULearn after the lecture on September 9th, so after the first lecture, and it'll be available for 7 days. I would recommend taking it. It's not mandatory, it's not for marks, it doesn't really matter what your answers are, but I would recommend taking it, again, just to be sure that the software actually works for you, that you've been there and done that before you have to take a quiz for marks. I think it'll only take 10-15 minutes to fill this in. It's not for marks. If you take a look at the questions that are on there, they're basically, I mean, it's mostly just for practice, but the questions themselves are meant to give me a bit of background on what resources and background the class has as a whole. So the questions are along the lines of, how experienced do you feel with C++, with Git, that kind of thing. What kind of resources do you have at home? Do you have a good internet connection? Do you have kind of a reasonable quiet space where you can work? What times of day are you most likely to be working on the course? So that kind of thing. None of the questions are mandatory. If there's anything there that bugs you, just skip it. It's totally okay. But again, just so you've got a chance to see what the quiz tool is like if you haven't used it in the past. In terms of links and information, figured should make sure this is all available someplace. If you haven't played with VIULearn before, here's the great long ugly URL for it. If you need an orientation, again, there's lots of information available on the VIULearn site, lots of help pages, tech guide in general for if you're having troubles connecting. So do feel free to make use of any of those. I'd recommend trying the practice quiz sooner rather than later. But again, I'll leave it up there until Wednesday the 16th, and then the first of the actual quizzes will start on the 18th. So just so you've got a chance to play with it. As usual, holler if you have questions, and we'll see how we go.